Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, First, I would like to thank WIPF for giving me this opportunity to address this very distinguished audience. And as the name of my title suggests, that today I'm going to give you a snapshot of patent filing and patenting trends in emerging technology areas in India. You just heard that the president of EPO said that there is an increase of nearly 55% every year. Can you hear me? That there is an increase of 55% every year in terms of filing in these areas. So where does India stand here? So first, the way I have divided my presentation is that first I would like to give a brief snapshot of overall filing trends in India, and then I take up the emerging technology trends. So the first slide shows us what is the trend in patent filing in India. The graph on the left is orange. It actually is in contradiction to what IPO have been showing us, that the filing is increasing. That is because I have taken these figures from commercial database. So we don't have unpublished applications here, while IPO would have access to the unpublished applications as well. But the one on the left in blue, it shows the publication trend, and that is in sync with what IPO has been showing till 2021, that there has been a gradual increase and definite increase in filing over the years. So this is a brief snapshot of the technology areas where we have maximum filing in India. Now here what we have done is that all the IPC classes have been divided into 35 groups. And you can see that the groups that actually attract the maximum number of filing in the past 5 years are computer technology, digital communication, IT methods for management, medical technology, and of course pharmaceuticals. So this gives you another idea about what are the kind of technology areas in India which are, well, in inverted commas, hot. And I'm not going to talk about ChatGPT here, conscious effort of not talking about that. So first I have divided emerging technology areas into 4 broad areas, which is AI and machine learning, Internet of Things, blockchain, and additive manufacturing. So to begin with, AI, we all know AI can be divided into AI techniques per se, which could be advanced forms of statistical and mathematical models, such as machine learning, fuzzy logic, and so on. AI functional applications, functions such as speech or computer vision, and AI application fields. In all areas now we know that there is application of AI. So you can see from the top left corner of the graph, and the top left corner, that there is a nearly 1000% increase in filing of AI and ML applications in India over the past 5 years. Now this is also, it reflects the global trend. So I was reading a WIPO report the other day. It said that there is an increase in filings in AI and ML by nearly 700% or more in the past 5 to 6 years. So India is also showing a very similar trend. On the right hand side, we see we've divided, this is a graphical representation of the highest IPC classification in which there are the top 10 IPC classification in which there is maximum filing. So, and the number 1 here is of course machine learning. The grants, however, still remain low. So that could be issue of concern here, but maybe in the 2 to 3 years we'll see many more grants here as well. So this gives a better picture of the kind of technology areas in which these kind of filings in AI and ML are taking place. So which the top 5 are computer technology, IT methods for management, medical technology, what we saw in that snapshot also. So here is a similar snapshot of this area. Next we come to Internet of Things. In IoT also we see nearly, if you see on the left hand side corner, that there is nearly 1000% increase in filing. In fact, more than 1000% increase in, more than 400% increase in filing. And the grant, however, remains low. And on the right hand side, we see the IPC classification in which maximum the top 10 IPC classes in which the filings are taking place. So this gives a snapshot. We have digital communications is the highest, followed by again IT methods, controls, computer technology, and so on. This is again, this you can see IoT has much broader application than the other technology areas. Then we come to blockchain. Blockchain, we see the numbers are moderate in terms of filing, but there is definitely an increase. But in 2 or 3 years in between, maybe because of COVID, there was sort of a stagnation. But when we see again the file is increasing in 2022, the grants here also still remain low because they are all recently, probably recently filed applications. And also we have to remember one thing, that that an applicant can file a request for examination up to 4 years from the date of priority. So that it's so a lot of applicants do adopt this strategy to file for examination only just before the due date for RFE, for the examination request. So that itself gives a 4 years lag as compared to global issuance. So here we have digital communication, which is the highest, followed by IT methods, computer technology, and so on. So here we see a wedge-shaped graph here, which is what we expect blockchain to be like. Then we have additive manufacturing. The numbers are relatively low here as well, not very high, not as high as we have in other, in say AI or ML, but there is an increase, but 2022 shows a dip. There is a lot of, a variation in the kind of IPC classes in which the filing is taking place, and but the rates of grant here are a little higher. So the expectation is that the one that you see a steep fall in the class A611, these pertain to the processes of additive manufacturing. So one reason could be that the eligibility of these patenting these in India could be a problem. So as expected, medical technology is the one which shows the highest filing, followed by other special machines and computer technology and so on. And here you see a much more democratized map here in the graph, because a lot of areas they use additive manufacturing, or they are trying to use. So my next will be that what are the applications of these technology and how they are panning out vis-a-vis patent filing in India. So I will just take up quickly a few of them here. These are not exhaustive by any stretch of imagination, but I've just tried to showcase the most important ones. So the use of AI and machine learning in pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, and biomedical. So AI, we know, is playing a very big role in drug development in pharmaceutical sector. So there are drug discovery pipelines, simulations, robot-assisted surgery, and so on. So it finds a lot of application in medical and healthcare industry. So here we see that this is also reflected in patent filing in India, that there is a substantial increase in the filing over the past 5 years. The grants here also remain slow, which we again expect in the next 2 to 3 years this is going to change. And we see that in this also the machine learning, the class belonging to machine learning shows the highest filing. Then we also have AI and ML in microbial identification. I'll quickly go through these because of the shortage of time, but it will just give you an idea that how filing is robust in India in these areas, and though we need to increase the rate of grant. And metabolimics is another very important area in which we see some mixed results here, but it is one upcoming area which is of high importance. And AI and ML in polymer chemistry is another area which is also very important, which AI we know provides opportunities for discovery and development of innovative polymers, and their applications are in data-driven methods for design, synthesis, characterization of polymers, and so on. And they find application in various fields. So here we see that in the polymer chemistry there is a very There is an increase, but it is not very high. The numbers are moderate, but there is a slow increase in the filing. In agrochemistry is another area which is a new area actually, in which artificial intelligence and is finding applications. So AI, even the government of India is actually pushing the use of AI in these areas. So AI has been effective in agricultural work for soil cultivation, growing of crops, monitoring and raising livestock, and so on. So the functional applications are in pesticide spraying, crop monitoring, harvesting, and crop mapping, and so on. So we see here that there is a steady increase in filing in these areas, and we also hope to see that there will be an increase in grants as well. Again, use of AI and ML in gene editing. We all know about CRISPR. We all heard about it all the time during the COVID, and we see that there is actually, if you see on the left-hand side of the graph, that there is a steady increase in filing, and we hope that even that the grants also increase over a period of time. So biomedical devices also, we see, now here it is actually as encouraging as as the AI techniques. So that is one area where AI is being used, like on a large scale. So we can see that there is nearly a 600% increase in filing over the last 5 years. So then we come to use of Internet of Things in automobiles and building automation. So IoT in automobiles, we know it plays a very vital role. It can enhance vehicle safety, entertainment, communication, and so on. And it is used in transportation vehicles, traffic control systems, logistics, and it finds the fields are fleet management and autonomous driving, and so on. So here again we see there's a large increase in filing in India. So what we can safely conclude is that India is following the global trends in filing in the new emerging technology areas. And we also hope that the grants will also follow suit. And again, building automation is a very similar story, that we see an increase in the filing as well. And if we come to blockchain, we have fintech and smart contracts. Blockchain, we all know, has revolutionized or trying to revolutionize the fintech industry. So we can see that there is a moderate increase in the number of application filings. Again, subject matter eligibility is an issue in India in these applications, but still there is a moderate increase in filings over a period of time. Similarly, in smart contracts, we can see that there is a moderate increase in the number of filings in India over a period of time. Additive manufacturing, we see maximum use in medical devices, as we've seen before also, that but its application is variable, because probably the processes, more than the processes, the apparatus get granted in India. Maybe that is why there is so much variability in the filing pattern as well. In aerospace, it is big, additive manufacturing, and we see an increase, but a moderate increase and a variable increase again. And again, as I said earlier, that more than the processes in this area, it is the apparatus that gets granted in India. So that was just a very quick snapshot of how Indian patent filing is, whether it is following the global trend, and the answer would be a resounding yes, that we are following the global trends. But then now we have to wait for the grants to see whether they are actually granted or not. So just to touch upon what are the IP issues that concern the emerging technologies. So the first is patents are one of the most important tools for securing your inventions. When we talk about patents, we have eligibility. So whether new models arising out of AI, data structures, business methods, whether they're eligible or not. Then of course we have the issues of novelty, obviousness, and ownership. Ownership, we all know, we have all heard the Davis, about Davis and how it has got rejected everywhere because of the ownership issues. And then we have data. The data can be protected by copyright. There are issues on privacy, on security of data, usage of data, and data sharing as well. And then, of course, we have standard essential patents in these areas. They will, we see an increase in the field of standard specifications, which can lead to more infringement, litigation, and FRAND issues. So the inventions arising out of emerging technologies would be software inventions, models, data, business methods, as I said earlier. And these actually bring a big question mark on eligibility. So, so the eligibility would be in India, Section 3, Section 3K, Section 3N, and Section 3M. There are 3 sections that actually affect the eligibility of these inventions in India. I am only going to touch upon very briefly on 3K. There is no guidance, unfortunately, in India so far on examination of AI or ML inventions or any other emerging technology areas. So we do have computer-related inventions guidelines that were issued in 2017. So the Section 3K says that a mathematical or business method or a computer program per se or algorithms are not patentable. So what are the guidelines of 2017? We have the author of the guidelines here, you know, Professor V.P. Singh. So guidelines say that even when the issue is related to hardware or software relation, the expression of the functionality as a method is to be judged on its substance. It is well established that in patentability cases, the focus should be on the underlying substance of the invention, not the particular form in which it is claimed. Now, this has actually, you know, enabled a lot of software inventions which have a technical effect being granted in India. So this one guideline has helped the applicants a lot. And then we have that famous Ferre-Dulani judgment from Delhi High Court, in which the Delhi High Court held that all CRIs are computer-related inventions, are not barred from patenting under the provisions of Section 3K, provided such CRIs demonstrate technical effect or technical contribution. Now, this was a very important judgment. So, software inventions are patentable in India, provided they demonstrate sufficient technical character and technical contribution. So, I will briefly touch upon, very briefly, because I don't want to talk about other countries so much, just for a comparison, that in the US, for example, they have a portal dedicated to AI-related patent resources. That also includes guidance on examination of AI-related invention and computer-implemented invention. USPTO also published artificial intelligence patent data set in 2021. In Europe published the guidelines for examination of artificial intelligence and machine learning in 2019. And in March 22, they revised their guidelines, and it is said that these guidelines related to patentability of simulation, design, or modeling have been almost entirely rewritten. In Japan, again, Japan issued guidelines. Japan was one of the first countries to actually issue guidelines on examination of IoT and AI-related invention in 2017. And they also launched new patent classification for IoT-based technology. Similarly, in China also revised its examination guidelines, and they allowed addition of technical data for patenting business methods, computer programs, and all which were actually targeted towards AI and IoT. So South Korea, similarly, South Korea also recognizes technical effect of computer programs, presentation of information, and mathematical principles. So this was just a brief snapshot of how these emerging technologies are panning out in India vis-a-vis patent filing, and what are the issues which are involved, and how India and other countries are dealing with such issues. And thank you very much.